because you are still in that stage of figuring out what you want to do, and I do remember that so well. What I remember about my experience was how scared I was of failure. Is that a big part of your psyche?
For me, yeah, I would say so in yeah, partially. Mostly because there's so many things that I'm interested in, and so many of them are like so different, and the way I would go about doing those things or studying those things or making a career in those things would also be different. So, and I have no doubt that I could be successful in one or some of those things, but my fear sort of isn't it is more of a fear of choosing the wrong thing and not enjoying it or not being good at it. So I suppose in a way, yes, a fear of failure, but more so of indecision.
Yeah, I suppose fear of failure is relative to something you want. So you'd be afraid that you're not going to achieve the outcome that you want.
Mhm.
I don't know if I can jump to this, but I'm feeling like it logically follows that feeling certain about what you do is very important to you. You want to feel like you chose something that is sustaining and makes you content.
Yeah, that's definitely a part of it. Finding something that I'm good at and that I enjoy. Like you want to not hate your job. um
Yeah.
and but also like a lot of people say that you shouldn't make your hobbies your work. And I'm not sure where I fall on that spectrum, whether or not I would want to do something for work that I am interested in or do on my own time
Hmm.
additionally.
It kind of sounds like you're saying that work is meant to have meaning. That seems to be important because work can play many
Yeah,
functions. You know, there.
right. Yeah, I think that yeah, I'm definitely looking for work that has meaning and work that another thing with sort of like creative or developing fields is that they're not as financially viable traditionally. Like even if you're like good at graphic design, then I keep going back to graphic design, but like any sort of recently developed creative field, even if you're good at that, you might not be able to find work in that. It might be like inconsistent work. And because they're newer fields, they're generally, again, depending on what the actual career is, there generally isn't as much of a market for it yet, or it's still a developing market. And so like a lot of the people that I know that are graphic designers are like, wow, cool. I went to art school. I love graphic design, but what am I going to do with this degree? What is my actual job going to be? Is that going to be a stable job or a job that pays well enough to sustain a family or live in the area that I want to live in?
Hmm.
Or that kind of thing is, I think, a major concern of people my age that want to have those sort of like creative and fulfilling jobs that are like financially uncertain or have accrued like student debt from going to art school or theater school or music school or whatever it might be, and whether or not that is going to be a desirable thing in the coming economy, whether those industries are going to be more successful or less successful than they are now.